It would be dope to have an NFL team, though.
Oh, yeah.
Could you imagine us walking into a stadium on Sunday as the owners? And they always do like the billionaire owner meetings on the field where they all have their security flanking them that were either ex-Navy SEALs or ex-whatever. And they all kind of just walk across the field. And, you know, one of them probably tells the other one, hey, if you need any more friends that want to come do this job, just tell them and say we need it or whatever. There's been some owners that have walked across an NFL field to come talk to Jim Irsay that have had 8 to 9 people flanking them, and they're just walking in the middle of a football field. It's just like it's like an orb, like they're like it's literally like these people are just orbiting around them, and then they get to our sideline to talk to Jim, who has his own crew with him or whatever. Jim had a guy, by the way, that used to just carry around a bag of money, and he was literally the bag man. It was awesome. It was like
Where's the bag man?
It was like a satin bag, and because Jim would just hand out hundreds to people. Like that was just one of Jim's moves for a little bit there. Whenever he was really, you know, kind of, I think he goes in phases of like being in public, and then he stays behind the scenes, and then everybody knows the battles that he's had or whatever. But there was a string there where he was really up and had a lot of practices. He was at training camp. He was at games. You know, it was really awesome to see. His move, he'd get that bag from that, like he would almost like summon the bad guy. The bad guy would come and he would just start handing out hundreds to people.
That's awesome.
It was fucking electric. He did it at training camp. You know, in training camp, you know, aside from me and Vinny, nobody really gets to pay attention about a lot of the shit that's going on around the field, because at night, those night training camps, it's not like I can go over to the other field and kick for 3 hours, which is how long I practice. So I'm just literally just hanging out or whatever, watching training camp happen. And when Jim used to show up in his golf cart, and there'd be like a golf cart, like two golf carts flanking him with people. His golf cart would be souped up. He would get there. You could see him like have his conversations with people or whatever. Then he would just get bored, it seemed like, and he would get in his golf cart, drive over where the people are, and it was just like, here's 100, here's 100, here's 100, here's 100. And the place, by the way, everybody is just flocking to him.
Jim's handing out hundreds.
It was amazing to watch. He asked me to take a picture with somebody, and it was at the warm-ups of a game. It was, I forget who it was. It was somebody in his circle, had a child who was a fan of mine on Twitter or whatever. They happened to be with him. And he's sitting there on the sideline. He's got his people flanking him. And me and Vinny are just like sitting down bullshitting, waiting for the warm-ups to be over or whatever. And Jim turns around and he walks, he goes, brother, is there any way you could take a photo with somebody from me or whatever? I'm like, Jim, yeah, like,
sure.
Yeah, Jim, this whole thing is.
Look around.
This whole thing is yours, dude. Like, yeah, dude, whatever the hell. Oh, you're the best. They say you're like the Beatles, brother. They want your photo. And I'm like, oh, yeah, I don't know if that's the case, but no problem at all. And he walks away, and Vinny goes, you might be the most ridiculous fucking human I've ever. I said, excuse me, I gotta go take a picture? Excuse me, I gotta. So I take the photo, you know, and I come back and sit down. And I think when I took the photo, it was probably like a 13, 14-year-old girl or whatever, and I'm sitting there, and the group of people I'm looking at, it was 2 owners, okay, standing there. Jim Irsay had like a sport coat on, clean-ass shoes, you know. He was like crack. Everybody that was staring at me was both the owner's entire entourages, basically. And then there was like 3 camera people in the middle, and our whole team is warming up behind me, right? So at this point, a lot of people are seeing what's going on. So it looks like I'm posing for a photo with somebody in front of 2 billionaires and this whole crew. Photo happens, and then obviously, you know, they do a round of applause, like, yeah, thank you, you know, and I like walk through, and I sit down. Then there starts to be a little bit of a trickle of people walking over. But what the fuck are you? Yeah. You're taking photos with billionaires now? I'm like, hey, listen, man. Jim Irsay said I was like the fucking Beatles, dude. Yeah. What do you want from me? But it was those pregame antics. If we ever owned a team, you can do whatever you want.
Oh, yeah.
They do whatever they want. they just walk in and say, they do whatever they want. Walk, middle of warm-ups, go shake the other coach's hand. And the coach is like, yeah, shit, might need a job someday.
Yeah, absolutely.
Player, do what. Imagine if we owned a team. It would be fucking awesome. And it is, obviously, that's very early dream is that happens. But I think we are roughly 45 years away from, maybe 30 years away from that.
All right. Could be longer.
That's not bad.
Could be shorter.
Yeah.
Could be a year.
Could be a year.
True.
If one of these teams go up for sale and then you take a little trip up to Silicon Valley where all those venture capitalists are, and you go, listen, you guys just print money up here. There's 70 different venture capitalist people that all have $700 billion. None of it makes any sense, and they're all in like the same area. Doesn't make it. Imagine going up there and rallying the troops to just give you, can I just get like $4 billion or so? It's a business. I got to get business.
Think about it.
Here's my business model. Okay, we're just going to get in the NFL. And guess what? It's going to work. So
How's that
return
sound?
on the ROI is going to be good. And if not, by the way, just a drop in a bucket for you, let's just keep it moving. Maybe we do try to set up some meetings here and try to buy an NFL team. Maybe that's the move.
Walking through a cheese practice. Hey, Pat. Sorry, Pat Mahomes. Why don't you throw me a ball?
Hey,
Throw me one
let's
right
play
here.
catch.
Hit me in the chest, all right? I'm going to go deep. Throw me the ball.
You know that headset? You know the headset? It's what, offense coordinator, quarterback? Yeah, I would like mine.
I'm in there.
And I'll stop talking in 15 seconds on the play clock, but I would like at least access from my. We need a fucking deep ball, don't we?
Can we throw it deep, please?
Hey, enough of this, huh? And then, and then next play, isn't that elevator, straight down,
Yep.
you're fired,
Get
give me
out
the
of
headset. I'm calling plays now. I'm the captain now. That's what you can do.
Oh, yeah.
Out of all the owners, who would call plays? With Jim?
No, Jim Irsay Jim's doing a halftime performance.
Jerry's calling plays. He probably is right now, if I had to guess.
See, Al Davis actually was.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, like, I think once he passes away, that doesn't happen anymore. But there's all those legendary stories from the coaches that, like, a call would come down, and they'd answer, and it's Al Davis saying that something needs to happen. You just, like, put it down, and you're like, okay, let's change the gameplay.
All right, throw the ball. Let's throw the ball.
I have talked to a coach before who had worked in the NFL as an offense coordinator. Okay, and this kind of sounds like me pawning off a story on somebody, but it's this person. Pretty great coach, offense coordinator in the NFL, has not been on this show. Okay, so I'm trying to. The night before a game, Saturday, got a call from the owner of the team he was working for. And the owner of the team for 1 hour, this is Saturday night after team meetings, this is 10:30, 11 o'clock at night, gets an entire hour-long conversation. Starts out as, how you doing? Full convo. Then it slowly goes into a particular draft choice that was drafted in the first round. And then feels like tomorrow's a good time for this person to, and then like kind of a weave through a conversation. And the offense coordinator had to change the entire fucking thing before Sunday morning. It just had to add like 7 plays. He was like, boys, here you go. This is this whole thing. So, I mean, I was not there, but I imagine that was an electric factory. And I'm like, if I'm the owner, potentially earlier than Saturday night.
Oh, yeah.
But,
Probably a few more than 7 plays, too.
Hey, on Wednesday, hey, listen, I drafted the guy for a reason. Let's fucking get him the ball. You remember the annexation of Puerto Rico? Make his fucking ass last.
Run it.
Let's go.
Did it work, or?
I don't know. I didn't follow up.
Oh, okay.
They were
So
explaining,
probably not.
They were explaining their life to me. I was like, what's it like? Like, it gets you're just playing Madden, but like for real.
Yeah.
I was asking, and they were like, yeah, it's not like that at all. And I'm like, well, a quick story. That's a quick story. Saturday night after team meeting, after snack, after everything, get a call from the owner telling me this player basically needs to fucking play, and we need to do it. Sunday morning, had to change the entire thing. 0 sleep going into a big game. Awesome.
Kidding me?